The Donora Death Fog of 1948. In late October 1948, the town of Donora woke up to a fog that did not move. It clung to the streets, the houses, and the river like wet wool, turning the morning gray and heavy. People were used to smog in the Mon Valley, but this was different. This fog had weight to it. It pressed against the windows. It held the smell of metal and ash, and it did not lift. By the second day, residents said the sun had vanished behind a glowing yellow curtain. Streetlights stayed on through the afternoon. People could see only a few steps ahead of them. Farm animals grew restless. Children came home from school, coughing. A strange silence settled over the town, broken only by the distant hum of the steel mills. Then the sickness began. Ambulances crawled through the fog at walking speed. People reported a tightness in their chest, like the air had turned thick inside their lungs. Some collapsed on their doorsteps. Some never made it inside. Doctors worked through the night, but nothing they did seemed to help. The fog stayed still, as if it were watching. By the third night, the streets were nearly empty. Families barred their doors. Neighbors shouted to one another from unseen distances, their voices swallowed by the haze. The local funeral home ran out of oxygen tanks. Hospital beds filled. A few residents swore they saw figures standing in the fog, not moving, not speaking, only drifting in and out of view. Others insisted it was just the streetlights bending in the murk. When the fog finally lifted on the fifth day, the truth of what had happened settled over Donora like a second shadow. 20 people were dead. Thousands were sick. Some would never fully recover. Investigators later confirmed that the fog had trapped toxic gases from the zinc and steel plants, turning the entire valley into a sealed chamber with nowhere for the poison to escape. But long after the reports were written and the mills shut down, people in the valley kept talking about those nights, about the way the fog moved like something alive, about the silence that settled over the town, about the feeling of being watched through the thick yellow air. Even today, on cold fall mornings, residents say the fog feels different from anywhere else. They say it carries the memory of those 5 days in 1948, when the air itself turned against the town, and they never forget how quickly the fog can return. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from the crossroads of history and mystery. And if you enjoy Shadows and the Supernatural, don't forget to grab your copy of the Echoes of the Night series, available on the TikTok shop, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or a signed copy directly through the author at michaelarmbrest.com. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.